Hello everybody, I'm Ziyang Tang and today I'm going to present my project, Smart Trader for Cryptocurrency using Deep Reinforcement Learning. My motivation of this project is based on the huge market. According to the recent data, Bitcoin has hit its highest peak of over 16,000 US dollars, and the total market is almost 300 billion US dollars. In addition, many other cryptocurrency also grows into billion level market. So, can we make some money from such a huge market? One possible solution may be just mine the coins, but it needs a large amount of computing resource, and apparently we cannot afford it. So a shortcut will be just buy the coins in the second market in a relative low price, and then we sell them when the price goes up. Therefore, in this study, we aim at using the machine learning methods and use the historical data to train a smart trader to help us to make some money from the second market. But how can we achieve that? First, we review the papers and combine some keynotes from previous papers and then develop our smart trader. So first of all, we need to solve the unfixed data sequence method. That is, we know that CNN needs a fixed data size, but the sequence data is not fixed, and we can use any length of the data as an input. That is, the length can be a day, a week, or even a month. And our goal is to give different weights to a particular data, and maybe some previous data patterns exist in the past, and then it will reappear again. And these data patterns may still indicate the same results. So we need to find a way to remember such patterns, and then when the patterns reappear again, we know that it may happen. So we can base on that patterns and then buy the BTC or just sell them, and then we can make profit from it. Therefore, we can use a possible method called LSTM, or the long short-term memory. It was widely used in NLP to deal with problems like automatically language translation or other sequence-related data. It was an extension from RNN, the recurrence neural network, and the advantage is that you may keep some weights from a very far away data or the time frames. So with LSTM or RN-based methods, a simple idea is like we can predict the price of the coming day. Let's say, given the historical data, we can predict the price of the next day. And if the price is going up or is higher than the current price, we will buy the shares today and then sell tomorrow. And on the upside way, if the price is predicted lower than today, then we may sell today and then buy tomorrow. So in this case, in each day we can earn some money, and in the long term we should have some very good earnings. And the price prediction pipeline will be like we first analyze the data, then we do the data processing things, and then we use the supervised training to train a model. Then we can use the trained model to influence the predict price like in the next day or next week. And we can test with the real-time data, and if everything goes well, we will launch it online. But although the whole idea sounds great and you should make some money, it is actually not practical. So first of all, RNN-based model was a black box, which means we don't know how it predict the price, and it is possible that the model says that 70% uh, of the price will go up tomorrow, but maybe the other 30% indicate that the price will go down. So in this case, can we trust the 70% based on the previous data, and or we should do other things? So the trustness will be a very large issue. Besides, in the share markets, it is very possible that, let's say, the BTC continuous going up and the patterns never appears before. So in this case, the model may not have a reference in the past data, so the prediction is not very trustable or maybe not robust. In this case, if we just follow the predictions, and we will lose a lot of money. So how to solve that? In this study, we propose another very famous methods, the deep reinforcement learning, or the RL, in machine learning topics. So how does RL works, and how can it solve the previous challenges in the RNN-based models? Um, so instead of finding some clues from the previous patterns, RL methods can learn a strategy within like humans concept. For example, it can learn a follower strategy, or just like buy in the low price and then sell in the high price. And all these strategies are very common strategy that's the human traders may use in the real life. And in this case, we can explain the strategies from the robot, from the agent. And because we can explain the strategy, so we can also trust them. And in the RL model frameworks, there has 4 components. The agent, which is the robot in this figure, is the entity that's to replace the human to do all the other operations like the actions. So the actions in our study will just be buying a share, sell a share, or just hold a share. And the states will be the current profit rates. Let's say after trading, using the agent trading for a month, the current earning rate is about 1%, or maybe it just lose 2% of its budget. And the environment means the transactions in the market. So it's just the markets we just very familiar with. So based on the feedbacks from the market, the agent will change his strategy and try his best to make the best profits. So let's say if the state says that currently the strategy will lose 2%, then the agent may know that he should not sell the share so early. Maybe he should keep it for a later time and then sell it. So he will change the strategy, and then the strategy will change the state from losing 2% into like earning 1%. So something like that. And in our experiment setting, we set 3 actions, as before mentioned: buy, sell, and hold. And each action can have 10 choices of the volumes. Let's say the action can buy 10% of the total budget, or it can sell like 20% of the total budget, and something like that. So we have 10 volumes. And we also set up the reward functions using the incremental profit strategy, and which means we want to maximize the cumulative income in a certain period of time. So it allows the agent to lose a small amount of money in a short period, but in a long term, the cumulative income will still go up. So that's our reward function. Then we also implement our idea in the BTC, the Bitcoin's market. We collect the BTC data from Coinbase website, and then we split it into 1 hour time period, which means we have like tens of thousands of time frames, and each time frames will indicate the price of the open, close, high, low, and the volumes in an hour. So the data will end it at November 10th, 2020, and we split the training set and test sets with the ratio of 95% over the 5%. So we use the past 95% of the data to train a model and then test it on the last 5% of the data, like in the recently. So the time period is about 2 months. And we also set the budget as 10,000 US dollars, and the total epicers were 200, and we set the learning rate to 1e minus 5. We also implement the experiments based on the GYM package from OpenAI, and the strategy, the optimized strategy is the proximal policy optimization, or the PPO. One of the keynote of this strategy is to constrain the huge changes from a new policy to the old one. That means that actually we may have like two different policies that have the similar incomes, but the policies, the strategies itself can be very different. So for example, we have a strategy A says that we should buy 10% in a particular day, let's say October the 1st, 2020. But strategy 2 will say that we should sell 10% in October 10th, October 1st, 2020. So the strategy itself can have the similar results, but it changed a lot. And in this case, during the iteration, the agent might switch its strategy from strategy 1 to 2, then jump back to 1 and 2 again. So in this case, it's not very not robust for the agent to converge to a unique strategy. So in this case, we use the PPO, and then we add a constraint to clip the ratio between the new policy and the old policy. So in this case, we can force the whole agent to stick on a single strategy for a time during the training. And we also set up a early stop if the agent continuously lose money and goes to the bankrupt. So we set the bankrupt at 95% of the budget, which means if we detect that the agent lose 95% of all the budgets, then he should never turn it over again. So which means the strategy has some problems, and we should stop it early. And after we stop the strategy, we can like change some high P parameters to make the agent to perform better. So we set several things in the high P parameters. First of all, we standardize the original data and make it into the Gaussian distributions. Second, we also add the Sharpe ratio in the reward function. The Sharpe ratio means a ratio to measure the returns versus the risk. The higher the ratio is, let's say 2.0, means that we can earn $2 with a risk to lose $1. So the ratio is higher, the result should be better. And we also clip the maximum of the strategy change into the range of 0.8 to 1.2. Like we allow 20% of the change from the old policy to the new ones. So finally, after we change some high P parameters, the agents finally find a way to earn money in 2 months period. This is our best model, and the cumulative returns was about 25% during the 2 months period, and the highest Sharpe ratio hits about 2.0. In conclusion, we set up a demo to show the possibility to use RL methods to train a smart agent to trade in the BTC market. If it can make some profits in BTC market, it should have the potential to earn money from other cryptocurrency markets. So that's why we set the topic of this research as the smart trader in cryptocurrency market instead of BTC. And the framework can be the same, and what we need is to retrain the model with the new data. In the future, due to the time limited, we cannot optimize the best model, and I think the RL framework still have a huge potential and a huge improvement. So in the future, we can still explore the robustness of these methods and try to make more RL optimization methods like the state-of-art methods to achieve a better results and a more stable strategy in the market. That's all for my presentation. Thank you for your time.